Is this more of
like
a social
food.
thing for you on Instagram, or is it more of it's part of your gardening and growing stuff and you're sharing it? It's fun to be with other people or sharing that with other people, but or is this kind of like these are my friends. These are legitimately my this is my social thing to decompress from my day and from work.
Yeah, well, I think it's a little bit of both. It's kind of everything. Where I was a young mom. I had Tim when I was 22, and social media, it was Facebook at the time, allowed me to live vicariously through others when the baby was in bed at 7:30 at night.
Sure.
And I'm really not great with technology, and we had the spring of 2020, which was hard on the world. I leaned into Instagram gardening because I've always gardened. And I thought, why not garden on Instagram? We'll see what happens. I was clueless. I had no idea about the
When did you start
community that
your account?
existed. This account, I've had an Instagram account, like a personal one,
Mm-hmm.
for a long time, but I never used it really, or I barely used it. I started the gardening version, Okayest Gardener. I think it was like very late spring 2020, but I'm like an extroverted introvert at first. Like I have big energy, but I'm timid about it.
Okay.
And a good example of that was probably a year and a half ago when you were starting to get really big in on the remixes,
Okay.
and you are great at encouraging others and like trying to get others to play with you on technology and in social media.
Well, it's fun. I mean,
And
it's
it
fun to have
was,
somebody do it with you as opposed to
yeah.
always doing it by yourself. But yeah.
Well, and it's to me, it was intimidating because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And I didn't have a lot of time to kind of figure it out because I still work a day job.
Yeah.
Like I still clock 40 hours a week. And it was fun, but it was scary to me. So, like, the whole idea of gardening on Instagram was fun, but scary because, and that's why I leaned into the Okayest brand because I'm not an expert. I don't know. All I know is that I'm trying and I want other people to try.
Are you afraid of putting yourself in terms of the remixing and getting on board with doing stuff with other people on Instagram? Are you or were you afraid of putting yourself out there, or were you afraid of making yourself look silly, or you didn't want people to necessarily laugh at you or something? Like what was the
No,
reservation?
I just didn't know how to do it.
So it's more
I
of
didn't know how to
technology.
like, yeah, it
Okay.
was the technology fear. I didn't know how to like lip sync and know what like my mind wasn't working to be able to remember what someone else was saying so I could lip sync along with
Right.
them or lip sync along a script. And I was just winging it in the dark and I felt stupid. Like who am I? I don't know what I'm doing. Um and over time in the last couple of years in this account, I have talked with so many people and through voice chats, like voice messages back and forth,
Sure.
through DMs, and then I've started storying most mornings
Yeah.
with my silly little coffee cheers
In the robe.
because it's like in the robe and hey, let's give someone a cheers because I love I love a cheers. It drives my family nuts.
Have you had a robe
It's me.
malfunction? Like I've wondered that when I see you in your robe, I'm like, do you have to make sure you have
So today I've got a tank top on.
for
Um,
people not watching the video portion of this, she just went to grab her robe and completely not that I was worried about anything, but it's just it's you're not ready for it to where she grabs the robe and just splays it out because you're thinking she's gonna have something under there, but she has been drinking.
I I started. I'm not through my glass yet. We're sipping.